You have such a social advantage when you have the fearful avoidant attachment style, and then when you've healed, that no one talks about. And I don't know about you, but I had this feeling that I was so behind when I was struggling with the fearful avoidant attachment style and I was healing. It felt like I had to heal so that I would get to a normal level, function the way normal people do, and then had to kind of train myself or have all these skills to actually be social and have the friendships that I wanted or have the relationship that I wanted. And it just felt like climbing up a mountain, and then when you reached the top of the mountain, it wasn't even enough and you had to go even further. And so today I want to talk to you about the absolute social advantage that you have, because none of that was true. When you've healed, just by having the fearful avoidant attachment style, you have skills, you have capabilities, you have gifts that you are not aware of now because they are fear driven, but they will give you a social advantage when you've healed and they are not fear driven anymore. I am Pauline, and I am so happy you are here because I want you to know how valuable you already are right now. And just because you're struggling right now with the fearful avoidant attachment style doesn't mean that you're not valuable or that you're behind or that you have to work so hard for the rest of your life. There are a lot of things that you're not aware of right now that are amazing about you. And you might not be able to enjoy the gifts right now, but the more you heal and you're doing that, the more you notice that these are actually there. So when we talk about it, I wanted to share these, or I wanted to talk about these so that you recognize them more and more. Okay, so the first one, there were so many that I actually had to kind of pare down how many I was going to talk about, but there are so many social advantages you have. The first one is hypervigilance turns into attunement. So right now you might be hypervigilant, which means that you scan every room, every conversation for threat. You are just on all the time, and you watch for micro shifts in expression, in tone, in body language. You might not even be aware that you're doing it, but you're doing it. And right now that is giving you a lot of tension. It's fear driven, so it's not very comfortable to do that. But when you've healed, that will turn into attunement. And that means that you still see those things. You are able to see those things, but it's not fear driven anymore. You're just very tuned into other people. And that means that you have a deep social intelligence and you are able to read people so much better than 99% of the people on this planet. So you have this gift of emotional reading, also an advanced reading of dynamics, because you probably already can pick up when you're entering a room. You can pick up what the vibe is, whether there's tension, what the dynamics is between people. You probably can do that in a split second because that's what you've been trained for. When it's not fear driven anymore, it's not something you feel responsible for anymore. That fills you with this sense of fear and tension. It's just curiosity. You walk into a room, you feel the dynamics, and it's just, that's interesting. Why would that be? And you can just stay present without taking responsibility for making all of it better and making everybody happy. And so that can really, just you being able to do that and stay present with it and be curious, just that without doing anything can be healing for other people, while it's also very freeing for you. So that attunement is just, it's such a gift that you don't have to use, but you have it when you've healed. The second one is the feelings intensity that you have right now turns into empathy. So you feel your feelings intensely. You can imagine all of the feelings because you've lived all of them. You've experienced all of them. You felt that in your body. And this is one of the biggest differences with the secure attachment, people with a secure attachment, that they have not experienced the depths of despair and shame and guilt, and maybe not also the highest of highs, the euphoria you feel when people give you the approval that you've been working so hard for. And that when you're not healed, when you're still struggling with the fearful avoidant attachment style, and all of these feelings are all over the place, it's exhausting and it can be very overwhelming. But when you've healed, you will be able to empathize with other people so much, and you can make them feel seen and feel understood way more than any of the other attachment styles. By the way, this is not this attachment style is better than the other attachment styles. I'm sharing this because the fearful avoidant attachment style gets such a bad rap usually. And I just want you to know that's not fair. You have such amazing gifts. So being able to let somebody feel so seen and so understood is such a gift, And that is not possible when it's somebody that hasn't gone through it. There is such a difference between somebody who is there for you and with you, that really understands what is going on, and somebody that absolutely tries to, but just has not had the lived experience. And because you've experienced so much when it comes to feelings, you are able to really empathize with other people. So that is a beautiful gift that you, again, don't have to use when you've healed, but you can, because you have the ability. The third one is capable of deeper connections. When you've healed the fearful avoidant attachment style, you will be able to connect even deeper than people who have always had a secure attachment, because you know the full range of feelings and emotions, and you can connect to all human experience. And so there is a depth to that will help you in creating deeper connections with other people than maybe secure attached can, that have always been securely attached. And so the fear of connection is core for the fearful avoidant attachment style, where for anxious preoccupied, it's the fear of abandonment, very generalized. And for dismissive avoidant, it's the fear of commitment. For the fearful avoidant, it's fear of connection. You may have noticed, or you may know this, but that doesn't mean that will be like that forever. What I've seen again and again is that when you've healed, you are capable of deeper connections than others. So just know that, because that is a gift too. The fourth one is deep self-awareness. You have faced shame and guilt. You have analyzed yourself to pieces. You know yourself better than most people on this planet, because it felt like that was almost needed, right? That's why you watch these videos. That's why you work to heal. And when you go through all those patterns, when it's so overwhelming, when the trauma is so overwhelming, you have to get to know yourself in order to understand yourself, in order to heal. And so what that brings you when you've healed is just immense wisdom. You know yourself, you know how you work, you know where things come from. You therefore understand other people better also. You understand where they come from. That doesn't mean that you allow everything to happen, but when you understand them and you understand yourself, there is a lot of room for wisdom. You might not see yourself as wise right now, but you already are. It's just that fear can create can blur that wisdom, but it's there. And when you've healed and you've released the fear, it's just going to be wisdom. And that is such a gift that, again, you don't have to use, but you can. You will be able to see things from everybody's perspective and come to a conclusion that's in the highest interest of all. I guess that could be a definition of wisdom. And then the fifth one is pattern mapping and analysis and problem solving. Your brain has been just on, right? It's such a powerful machine, and everybody has powerful brains, but you've been training your brain. You have not done that consciously, but you have, by analyzing and by seeing patterns and by being hypervigilant and by paying attention and by analyzing conversations, analyzing relationships, analyzing all kinds of things, and problem solving, because you notice what is wrong, you notice what is missing, and you've tried to solve that from a million different perspectives. And even though that probably hasn't really led to you feeling any better, because all of that was fear driven, and all of that was not leading to you healing the fearful avoidant attachment style, because you can't really heal this attachment style rationally. It did train your brain to think that way. And in trying to stay safe when you were younger and now, you've learned connecting the dots and analyzing situations and behavior and intense problem solving. So when healed, that means you have such a psychological literacy and an emotional vocabulary because of the deep self-awareness and the way your brain is trained now. And that can help so much in so many areas of your life, but especially also in career and work, whether you're an entrepreneur or you have a career. All of these skills are insanely valuable. And when you've healed, you don't have the fear of responsibility as much or anymore at all, of making mistakes. And so you own up to those skills and those gifts, and you will get compensated for that, rightfully so. So even, I guess this is not even just a social advantage. It's an advantage also in career. Healing will not just bring you to a normal level. It will catapult you way beyond that because of the intense training that you've had when you were younger and now. The only difference is that all the things standing in your way of owning up to them and actually enjoying them, those are the things that you've healed, that are not there anymore. The fear of making mistakes, the fear of responsibility, the fear of other people getting angry, the fear of your own feelings, the fear of making other people sad or mad or taking responsibility for everybody's problems, all of that will not be there anymore. And so you get to enjoy these gifts and be compensated for them. How cool is that? I want you to know that. I need you to know that you are so much more valuable than you think. And that on the other side of this, after all of the work, the healing work that you've done, there are gifts that you get to enjoy. It's really worthwhile to get there. I hope this was valuable. Let me know in the comments below whether it was, whether you already knew this, whether you already have seen these, because I've seen it time and time again, that these are there after healing. As always, I am so happy you are here, and I will see you in the next one.